Bitcoin wicks below $30,000 for the first time since the beginning of January and starts trading in the high 20,000s range before quickly making a trend back up into the $30,000 as we can see now. Is this the beginning of a pullback? Is this a consolidation? Have the bears won? Or is this just the beginning before Bitcoin goes ahead and starts to soar? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? This is Doge Lore on Crypto, and for today's lore, we're going to be downloading what is going on with Bitcoin. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin was trading inside of a symmetrical triangle. It was essentially coming up to a point where we were coming close to the end of our triangle, and Bitcoin had to make a move either in the up or going in the down. And as you can see, Bitcoin ended up going in the down, breaking out of the symmetrical triangle and dropping all the way down to $29,000 before it wicked back up to around $30,000 where it is currently trading. So I'm not going to spend the rest of this video doing a retroactive analysis as to why Bitcoin was falling, and instead look to see what kind of moves Bitcoin could be making in the next 1 to 2 days and even possibly in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So right now, as we can see here, Bitcoin is approaching the 50-day moving average. It actually wicked down and got relatively close around the 28,000 mark before it went back up to be trading in the low 30,000s. But essentially what we're going to be focusing on now is looking for a level of support at this 50-day moving average. If Bitcoin is able to come down to this moving average and bounce back up as it sort of did when it got really close, if it can follow a similar pattern there, then it kind of shows in the long run that we still have a bull market for Bitcoin and that everything is still progressing in the long term, going to be progressing in the upward trend. However, that is not entirely 100% always going to be the case with Bitcoin. There is always a lot of volatility going on and a lot of different speculations and a lot of influences from the market, from the government, and so on and so forth. So really what I'm going to be focusing on in the next key 1 to 2 days about how Bitcoin is going to be playing out is focusing on where Bitcoin is going to end up landing when it comes down to this 50-day moving average around the high $27,000. One last thing I want to make for Bitcoin is, what is Bitcoin going to be doing in the next 1 to 2 weeks? Well, if we kind of go back and look to see the last time we were testing a moving average that wasn't the 20-day moving average, and I did check this out before, this is a while ago. We have to actually jump back to the time of roughly October and early October, late September time. We can see that the last time was around here where we tested our support levels at the 50-day moving average. And what ended up happening here is that Bitcoin had a huge dump, if you will, before it started to work its way back up. It actually required a bit of a support, not on the 50-day moving average, but rather on the 100-day moving average, making sure that we had that level of support and level of reassurance that this market is still overall a bull market and that we are going to be generally in the upward direction. So if we just kind of look back and looking at how we tested our levels back then, if we are to zoom back out and look at today's time, it is definitely a possibility that Bitcoin can actually go ahead and drop below the 50-day moving average and have to look for support on this 100-day moving average. Now, do I think that's an actual possibility? In my opinion, it's very unlikely that's going to end up happening, and what is rather more likely chance of happening is that we're going to be relying on this 50-day moving average to see that we do have our reassurance. And once we come down to this level, and if we do end up coming back down to this level, then we're going to be using this as a means to be able to bounce back off and go in the upward trend again. Now, as you can see, Bitcoin is currently trading actually at $31,000, and it could be that at the time of this recording, this bounce that happened just a couple of hours ago when Bitcoin went down to around $28,000, that may have been our test. Remember, we are looking at the daily chart right now, so if we were to actually open this up and look at maybe the 1-2 hours charts or even the 4-hour chart, we may have found that Bitcoin just did its level of reassurance and now it's going to be slowly creeping its way back up to the upside. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. We went over a little bit about the daily of what is going on with Bitcoin right now, why is it dumping, and what are the key areas to look at, specifically that 50-day moving average to see if Bitcoin is going to be able to bounce back up or continue to fall back down. I am Doge Lore on Crypto, and if you like these type of videos, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below, and please consider smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribing to my channel.